This is Chris Pronger, and you are listening to Missin Curfew.
What's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshall in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media, Newport Beach. This is Missin Curfew. And before the boys start snapping around D to D, hit the low center. This show is always presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Obes, the up dog, and our boys Swishy Swish. Fellas, how we doing? Good to see ya. Yeah, let's go.
We got TPC Sawgrass, the players this weekend, fella. You're going to Pebble Beach. I got to say, I'm extremely jealous of that. Life's good, though, dude. Sun's out, guns out. Fucking Schmaltzy, you'd like this? Two back-to-back days in the gym, upper body, lower body. Can't fucking sit on the shitter right now. My fucking quads and the hammies are barking, fella. I don't know. Are you still on the regimen, bud? Are you still on the regimen?
Yeah, I got my workout in this morning in between going on Sirius XM at 7 a.m. and Missin Curfew. So, yeah, it was a full body pump for me. Where are you going up, Doug? Are you still at that same spot we went to?
Curl, I had now solidified. This is the program. I realized,
Okay.
you know, I got to set my schedule Sunday nights. It's so the only way
For the week or for the
week, well, especially Monday. But yeah, so Sunday nights, log in, go to the app. I do the Monday, Tuesday, skip Wednesday. Hopefully it could be a golf day eventually when we can play some golf at the golf course. And then Thursday, Friday. So 2 leg days, 2 upper body days, mixed with the peptides. Got to get the body back, feeling good. Fucking A. Right? So anyway, I realized that if I don't do that, I'm never going to find the time to get out the door and do it. I just got to say, it's 6:15 in the morning. Boom. I come home for fucking, help with breakfast, do the drop-offs, come see the big fella in the studio. And that's the new program for the Up Dog.
I like it. And the big thing there is you're setting it up on Sunday. So you have something to, check off the list. So he's a pro. Is this PTO season for the Up Dog?
Are we? It's, couple weeks we got the Chaser charity game, Puck Fights Cancer, and fucking I gotta be buzzing for that. Can't show up out of shape. So, work on the hamstrings a little bit and the quads and the groins, but fuck am I sore today, but sitting in this chair.
You doing leg workouts, are you?
Full leg workouts.
That's fucking
one-legged
nuts. You didn't even do that when you played.
No, I know. Dude, talk about getting into it too. One-legged box fucking drops. Like, what are you talking about here? I looked at the guys in there. They're not like out of shape, but they're not fucking, they weren't tip top, and they're just hammering these things. I go, you guys are going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt yourself here.
I always wanted to ask the trainers when, the strength and conditioning guys, when we're doing one-legged, I'm like, we play with 2 legs. Why are we only doing one-legged squats here? Like,
one-legged duck swimming a circle.
Yeah, fuck, I'm not going to be out there skating with one fucking leg here. Like,
I need to wait a little bit.
I'm like, fuck me.
One-legged too, so one can help the other out when he's tired and hungover.
When you go one-legged, you got to touch your ass on the box and go up.
It was exactly that.
I almost retired every week that they made me do that. I was like, is it worth it? Yeah, it's worth 2 and a hook. I better fucking keep her going. Or it's worth fucking 1. Is it worth it? Loops is like just killing it 2 ways. I'm like, slow down, Loops.
But the one thing you do when you set up this Schmaltzy and you set your schedule, you see the same guys in there. So you go in and you get to the same little workout crew, and it just makes you feel good. It starts the day off right.
I'm proud of you, bud.
Thanks, man.
I would suggest as your teammate friend, and I fucking lay off the lower body though, eh?
My fucking chicken legs, dude.
I think you should just, every workout you should just do for golf. That should be your mindset now.
I want to get fucking golf. I want to get fucking get back, get a tryout, like Schmaltzy said though. 42. Like
those days you don't have Loops. How interesting getting that.
No, still, it's more just looking at my legs going, well, what am I doing? I used to be an athlete. Now I got fucking chicken legs.
Oh,
I want to have
short season around the corner, eh?
Yeah. I want to get some calf implants. Next up is calf implants if I don't work out, I think.
Well, listen, you look in the mirror, you see chicken legs. I look in the mirror and just see fatness. I'm like, how? I used to snap it around, like throw a little backhand sauce hit the center, go out and fucking get a kill. Now, like, I avoid mirrors at all times, Swishy, especially the side profile. That is not perfect, fella.
It angles it.
It's not Swishy, not perfect.
The man in the mirror can be scary. You know, it can be.
Some say it's scarier. No,
Oh, listen, a lot of times I looked
Exactly.
in that mirror throughout my career like, whoa, fella, time to tighten her up a bit here, bud. Hey, you may have a problem, bud.
but I'm hoping that these peptides like make the after effect better. Like this BP 157 is supposed to be all the information. I feel like maybe if I had that when I played, I'd still be going.
You know what's good information is a nice vitamin after a fucking workout. Just fucking have a vitamin, and then you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, no, it's been a minute since I've had vitamins, but this is, I'm feeling like, it's spring cleaning time. I know you just did a spring cleaning at the house.
I didn't. I balked on it. I got to get to it. I got to get to it. Yeah.
That's me if we're working out. Like, I think I'm going to do it, and then I don't. So I'm going to fucking get in there. I got the workout done, 45 minutes.
I got banged up Wednesday. Then I got banged up Friday at dinner with Lupul. Fucking 6 balls of sake later. He picked up the tab, thank God. But I left there. I was fucking tuned up.
Wow. Yeah, sake will get you.
Then I wanted to go to the Pendry for a cocktail. And they're like, no, let's go to fucking Malarkey's. I'm like, Malarkey's? We didn't go to Malarkey's, Loops, when we were fucking young. Why the hell are we going to go to Malarkey's?
Yeah. So what do you say to that?
He just kept arguing. I said, fuck it, I'm leaving. My ride's downstairs. I just left.
Did you go to the Pendry?
No, I went home, fucking lay on the couch, rubbed one out, I think. I wanted to go to the Pendry for an old fashioned, Swishy there. And
Yeah, we slid in there. Why did he want to go to Malarkey's other than they do advertise for the best Irish coffee? I've never been in there, but that's on their sign is a good Irish.
yeah, I listen, we went to Malarkey's the odd, but it wasn't one of our staples, right? It was Cassidy's, Stag Bar, Sharky's before then. But I don't know.
He just doesn't want any bad influence. He doesn't want to walk in there and see a bunch of hot chicks.
I think that might have been it.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's what it was. And then he's like, let's go to Shamrock. I'm like, every time I go to Shamrock, I almost get in a fight. I'm not going there.
Yeah, it's a little hot in there.
Just someone bumps into me and the guy like looks and then, Dom O'Brien, I'm like, fuck you, bud.
Loops just wants to go somewhere where he can crush like 4 or 5 IPAs though. That's like, that would be his thing.
I just thought after a nice Nobu dinner, we're going to go Malarkey's. Like, let's just go to a nice Pendry there, see what's going on at set, eh?
Yeah.
But I think you're onto something with the hot girls. I don't think he probably wanted to put himself in a situation to get stung, eh, fella? Fucking Loops. Malarkey's, I said, I'm going home. My ride's here, fella. But yeah, 6 balls of sake later, Swishy.
Yeah, it could happen to anyone. Like Friday night in Newport.
Were you drinking them like in a full glass, not in the shot glass?
You know what? It was nice. They put the big bottle right there with the ice bucket there. It's like right after a game.
Imagine after a National League game in the room just drinking sake.
Yeah.
You think that's what Ohtani does? He could.
I hope.
I mean, good sake's really good.
I was tuned up. I hadn't had sake in a while.
Yeah,
It's
it's
good.
good. Be cross-eyed.
That and the pen, I left there cross-eyed. By the way, there's some talent floating around Nobu too there.
Wow.
Yeah.
They didn't make it just for sushi.
I guess not. So, hey boys, you kind of teed me up here about your workouts, Up Dog and Swishy. I know you're a pro, the hardest working podcaster in the game when it comes to physical activity. Up Dog mentioned I'm lucky enough to be going to Pebble this week, and I've been dealing with a bad back. I hurt my back when Marner scored the OT winner against Czech, and then the next 2 days I went to the desert and got absolutely pinned playing golf, and I've been in one. So I just wanted to give a shout out because our boy Pico was caught over in Abu Dhabi there. I think he's back, but Dr. Nick O'Connor, this guy, man, last week I didn't think I'd be going, and he straightened me out. But where I'm going with this, boys, is how much are you guys getting your body worked on? And then Swishy, you mentioned the front of the hips. Like that's where the releases come from. The releases come from is the front of the hips. And I guess where I'm going with this, boys, is I got to just start getting back in there and getting my body looked after because it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, motion is lotion, right? That's what they say. I mean, I'm a deep tissue guy. Any chance I get, a little tie rub. And then I actually have a buddy down here who works with McDavid, Eichel. If we're going to name drop a few, he's like local chiropractor, kind of, just one of those like soft tissue release guys. So he's down here. He's been a friend for forever. So anytime I need a little bit of an adjustment, I got him for me, Obes. But the front side with that back, big fella, is you just got to activate. You got to activate those hip flexors, and you got to just get the core going a little bit too. Otherwise, all that pressure is going to go back to that lower lumbar spine, and it gets bottled up on the back side of the hip. So now that this is a physician's show and a ART release show, that's something you just got to keep I guess, cognizant of or be cognizant of.
Yeah, I gotta just keep. I know you go see Ejected still.
I do. Amstut's, one of my best friends, a guy that's, kind of pioneered a new way of chiropractic. And without him, I'd be fucked.
How many? Like you going 3 times a week or?
No, I would, if I'm lucky to get in now, once a week.
Okay.
He's busy. He travels. He goes to San Francisco, sees the 49ers. He's in Vegas, seeing some athletes once a week. Hard to pin him down, but also his, the realm of what he considers like getting you cured or, keeping you moving is he doesn't just put his hands on you for the hour session and get you moving, but then he wants you to do the follow-up. Like,
yeah, he gives you homework.
Oh yeah.
I love the Amsterdam, but fuck the homework. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to do this.
And it's like it's all this core work, stretching.
What are they called?
It's it's called the Eldoa.
Eldoa.
And Schmaltz, you did this, but we all implemented. When I went into St. Louis in the dressing room, I brought him, and he changed everyone's sort of outlook on how to recover and take care of the body. But it was a change of like, okay, bring them in once a month, and there's a lineup of guys use them, and then teach these guys how to self heal yourself. And it's, and it's consistently after skates, stretching, doing the same sort of, hockey players are hips, back, adductors, and how to keep those little fucking things strong when, your quads want to take over. It's like it's all part of the chain, and a lot of guys, hockey players, and this could be, fall in all of is our feet. Our feet from having years and years in a skate boot are stuck. The feet's supposed to move in like a bunch of different ways. Well, fucking, we were like skiers, man. We were stuck in a boot forever, a flat boot. And now like your feet are part of the problem with all the body. Like you could have a sore neck, sore shoulder, and without fixing your ankle, that thing will never fucking heal. So a bunch of different ways to look at it. Lucky to have him in my backyard. Oves, I'm glad you're using this guy because he works with a bunch of Ducks.
Yeah. He's got some Ducks boys rolling in there. He's a good Irish lad, and used to play roller hockey, so he's a good dude.
Well, what was the one thing you took out of it? Like, what did he say?
My hips. What Swishy said. Well, first of all, motion is lotion or whatever. That's another great Swishy.
Motion on the ocean.
Yeah, but my hips and my leg. Like he said the same thing as you. Like you got such big legs, hockey players, and your hips. I just need him in there to pump them. I need him in there to pump them because it's made a huge difference. And like, if I swim, my back's fine. But like Swishy said, you got to take care of that front side.
Yeah, there's a couple little things that a guy can do either in the morning or before bed that I've learned that actually get that back sort of ready for the day in the morning or to go to bed, where it's releasing your hips. And it's just a couple things. I mean, the secret is just consistency, like anything. And we're going to talk about that with our guest today. But just doing stuff over and over to prevent long-term fucking pain that we go through.
Yeah.
Right? Little things.
You gotta stay on. You gotta just stay on it, and I've realized that. And thanks to Dr. Nick, buddy. Switch, you ever been to Pebble? You ever had a fucking old fashioned in the tap room, fella?
No, I've never been there. That's a bucket list item for me.
Cool. I cannot wait to get the newly renovated tap room and just catch a buzz, keep a buzz, and not to lose that buzz.
Yeah, that place looks unbelievable.
3 goals.
Like,
that's 3 goals going on a weekend bender with your buddies. Yeah.
Are you playing how many, what do they got there? 3 courses?
Yeah, so it's the Partners and Pals tournament we play. We got a practice round tomorrow at Pebble. Then the tournament kicks off at Spanish Bay Friday, Pebble Saturday, Spyglass Sunday.
Oh, my Spyglass Sunday.
Yeah.
Hell, are you going to be stung for that?
Yeah, that's an 8 a.m. shotgun Sunday. That ain't going to be a pretty first tee for me. It takes me a few holes to get into that round. But
yeah.
Hey, I still believe, though, rest is a weapon too, boys. For you fellas out there, rest is a weapon. So thank you, Dr. Nick. Boys, speaking of golf, the Players Championship, up dog, lots of chatter about if this should be a major or not. I don't think it should be. Just, it has enough aura around it. It's the best field with the biggest purse. I don't think it should be a major. But anyways, Rory's going in with a little Lupo O'Brien back. He hasn't been there. He's going in today. Listen, I took Brooks Koepka. He got a new putter. He finished tied for 9th last week. I got him at plus 4,500. Long shot.
You got to go with one of these, the Asian invasion here.
Yeah. So
you Woo Kim.
Scheffler's going through, well, having a kid probably didn't help him either, but he's going through a new driver, little change, and he's not really firing all cylinders. Rory's got a bad back. It's kind of wide open. Kind of wide
It's
open.
wide open on a great course with a great gallery, and it's going to be for some fun watching. I know you'll be busy teeing it up.
Yeah.
The fuck again, well, Pebble is a bucket list, Schmaltzy. But this tournament in general, you say it is the unofficial 5th major, highly competitive. It's going to be for some good TV.
It's going to be nice. I'm going to catch it when I get back to my room. It's early nights there. The boys don't stay up too late, right? There's not a whole lot to do. So when you get back, it's going to be on the TV when I'm one-eyeing it, especially looking at who's leading this thing?
Yeah, good thing Richardson's not joining the crew, eh? Little Texas would bring it out right out of you boys.
Bunch of chicken wings. Fucking Richie. Yeah. Jeez, he almost killed me at his member guest there. He almost took the big fella down.
Oh, he almost took you down in Buffalo, too. Nobody can run like that guy.
He almost took himself down in Buffalo. But Players Championship, great weekend. Brooksy, get that putter going, fella. I just think he's going to win a big one here.
Yeah,
Maybe it'll be I just think this year he's going to win one and say, I'm back. So hopefully it's this week, boys. We're right back at Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Pick 6, fellas. DraftKings' newest fantasy pick'em game. Just choose more or less on 2 or more player stats. The more accurate picks, the bigger the payouts. Fella, hey, you just got to ride the upside with this, boys. And I was firing last night. Boys, I like to get the goals because that really juices it up a little bit. Obviously, they're harder to hit. But Quinn Hughes hit for me. Chucky hit for me. But then I went ice cold. Kucherov, MacKinnon, McGuire, Point, Crickets. So 2 for 6. But if you got the juice to get the goals, that's when you can really ride the upside, and it gets going.
You know who's been riding the upside is the chicken wing man is Brad Richardson.
Yeah.
Who last week, boys, hit a massive 6 for 6 with the 30Xer. Right? The 30Xer boost.
30 extra.
I mean, it's about time. Just you stick with it and bet responsibly, boys. Eventually it's going to come.
Yeah.
And the group text went Buck Diddy. He was shocked to see that his, DraftKings gave him that little booster.
Yeah, big booster. Same thing happened to me.
4 out of 6 should be a booster. 6 for 6. That's well done. That's fucking corn dogs, fellas.
Yeah, I've had some of the fellas, the Missin Curfew, sending me screenshots of where they put $10 in Swishy and they win $450. Like if $10 is your bet, that $450 keeps you in the game for a long time. That's the one real plus about the Pick 6 app here. You got to ride that upside, fella.
100%. You got upside. You got the odds are in your favor in terms of if you win, you're playing with the house's money. And if you just throw a little bit of scratch on it, like you said, Obes, $10 goes a long ways. And realistically, I mean, if you're all in for, you go 1 for 10, but you're playing $10 bets at a time, you're still coming out in plus money. If you're hitting for something like $450, $500, whatever it is. So, you just got to stay with it and realize you're not going to win all of them, but it just takes that one to hit to make a month. And that's why you play the game.
Exactly. And you like Updog said, it's you won't get yourself in, deep waters like
juice.
Like I got myself in here in a couple other situations I'm in. But honestly, boys, Kucherov and MacKinnon, every time I look at Pick 6, their over-under on points is 1.5 every game. Imagine being that good that every game you go into, over and under is 1.5.
I know. It's good to have those guys on your squad.
Right?
Yeah, now they can actually see the line. So it's like, hey, boys, DraftKings has you at 1.5 tonight. Like, we're really going to need you to bring it if we want to win this one.
I can't imagine, like, back when we played, like, being able to see all those lines, right? Like O'Brien over under 2.5 shots or, 2.5 penalties or something. Like, it's got to be weird for these. I know they stay away from it and obviously don't probably look at it, but it's everywhere. It's just like, I'm sure their buddies are like, hey, man, you're 2 points in there or something. Like, it's just crazy that it's that easy to see is what I'm saying.
We were just happy to be on a video game.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we're, front row and center with your mug all over every, gambling app there is, DraftKings being the best.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a humbling experience. And it's nice to know, like we used to go into a playoff series going, who's favored? Well, you got the pros now deciding who's going to be the favorite, right?
Yeah.
With taking in all the things, all the, the stats and the data and the, the algorithms, and they go, well, this is who the favorite is.
Yeah.
So very unique times. And
there's like another way to look at it too, right? Like I'm looking at it from the superstars perspective. Then you go down to my perspective and how like much they think you suck.
Yeah,
You're like
one
O'Brien,
block shot for
over half a point plus 12. Like, hey fellas, I could hit a shin pad or something.
Goals though, man. It's just it's life goals. Just want to thing at a time.
Yeah, I just remember Uppy when we played like that one beauty. I should remember his name at Lupul's golf tournament. He's best buddies with Krager. He's an absolute beauty. He's the guy that let me. I'm like, hey, can I bury your son? Like, get him drunk because he was like, hey, I can drink with you.
Yeah.
Son ended up fucking puking in the cart. Fucking done. Had to ride with his mom, but he always used to take me in his fantasy because penalty minutes counted. He's like, I take you because penalty minutes count. I'm like, well, fuck. All right, I'm in the game here.
That was his big sponsor, buddy.
He's a beauty.
Small town.
Can't believe I can't remember his name.
That's all right. But I know the kid too. Poor bastard.
He was I buried his kid. He loved it too. He's like, I don't boy. Way to teach him a lesson. So, boys, always gamble responsibly, but you got to ride the upside and get involved with the pick six. Moving on, boys. Get this guy an ice cold Labatt Blue. This segment is brought to you by Labatt. Brewed for the chirps, the rivalries, and the sacred art of trash talk. Labatt. Brewed for the roast. Up, Doug, I got two here. I'm going to dish them out real quick here. An ice cold Pristine Pilsner, right in the home of the Pristine Pilsners in Buffalo. The big boy, Logan Stanley, gets traded, has to wait for his visa to get approved, comes in, lands there, says, I want to play. Lindy Ruff says, no problem. Let's get you in there, big boy. First game, gets in a tilt. To me, man, that is unbelievable. That is how you go in there and let your teammates know, your fan base know that, hey, you got the big boy in town here. This is what I'm going to bring to the table. I never did that. I never fought my first game that I got traded. And looking back, I really wish I would have sometimes. But to him, good on you, buddy. Get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue. And then up, dog, I know this one will hit home for you. To the St. Louis Blues fans, and I guess the whole Blues organization, but to the fans mainly, get yourself an ice cold Labatt Blue. They stood for the entire Brayden Schenn tribute video. Like, I don't mean just stood. I mean stood and fucking clapped their guts out. I just thought, good on you, good St. Louis people. That's what that city's all about. That's why people like yourself, Factor, Swishy, whoever, love it there. So I know they like their good cold Labatt Blues. I thought it was really, really classy up there.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm going to grab a beer right now for Schenner.
Yeah, get one in ya. Get one in ya. Are they cold? They gotta be.
Are they?
They're always ice cold.
Are they cold? It's
They're always ice
Schenner,
cold.
I'm proud of you, dude. I know that day this week. It's been a long week for you. So I'm going to have this pint for you, but I know it was hard. It's been a crazy couple days, whirlwind type of situation. The fans, what they did, the organization themselves, never easy trading your captain. Heart and soul guy, knows when to fight, knows when to take care of guys. The story of his first game when he's in San Jose and he looked at the bench and said, any of you guys keep fucking trying to run Schaefer, you're going to deal with me. Like, that's the type of guy he is.
Yeah.
He knows it. And I think it couldn't be a better situation for him. Good young team with one of the best players in the world. So,
yeah.
Schenner, enjoy that Labatt Blue, fella. You deserve it. And just have a run, fella. Let's go.
He looks good. You know what? He actually, I saw him in the Islanders junior last night. I think he looks pretty good.
He looks good in it. Yeah.
And I wondered, like, I looked at the schedule yesterday. I was like, holy fuck, he hasn't even been to Long Island yet. It's like he's making his return. Like, do you think it was better that he got it out of the way right away, or would it have been?
Time. I think so. I think it's now it's not putting the date on the calendar. It's moving on. I'm sure as hard as it was, there's a little bit of closure to it. And, you know, your family, he sleeps in his own house, in his bed. He takes his car to the rink, but he dresses in the other dressing room. I think it was perfect. It was a TNT game. It was Gretzky bobblehead night. It was a night of, you know, not only celebration, but they get down 3-0 early and they battle their asses back. He made some great plays. Great on the power play. I think their power play looks better with him on there, and then makes an incredible play in overtime to win the game in epic fashion. And they're, the Islanders are a great team and they're in the hunt. So to be part of that and to win one like that for him and for that squad is awesome.
Yeah, and you know what? They were down 3 Cobb. Patty was about to pull Sorokin, and the boys from upstairs say, "Hold on, it's offside." Patty Wad doesn't pull the goalie. They come back to win 4-3. I just thought the whole sequence was pretty interesting. That Patty had seen enough,
of course. And
then after he realized, okay, we're still in this. It's only 3-0. No, you stay there, Riddick. I'm gonna go with my guy. I was just trying to put myself in Schenner's position of like the shit that's gone on with him in the last week. Has it even been a week since the deadline?
Well, it hasn't.
It hasn't even been a week,
5
right?
days.
So, you talk about Patty Wall basically telling him like, hey, fella, you gotta, you're not leaving this hotel room until you waive your no move. Then he comes out and says, the reason I did it was because they got Schaefer and a good team. And then all of a sudden now he's going back to St. Louis. He hasn't been to Long Island yet. It's like, you got a family. He's got to be, it's a lot. Like, I hope people out there, fellas that are listening, you beauties, like, think about that. Think about what Schenner's going through right now. Like, it's all good, positive stuff, but there's also stuff that, like, his world just changed dramatically.
Dude, he's got 3 young kids.
Yeah.
He just had a baby girl. 3 young kids the same ages as mine. I can't imagine, I go on a golf trip and I'm like tripping.
Yeah.
This is an entirely different situation and one that has positive sides to it, the way you look at it, and the other one that's, you're moving on and you're starting a new chapter with new teammates and everything, and it's the game inside the game that not many people can understand until you live it.
Yeah.
But Brayden Schenn's an absolute pro, and it's the first thing that Matty Barzal said to Panger on the bench in his post game was, this guy's, you heard stories of him being the ultimate guy, and now we see it, and we couldn't be more happy that he's part of our team.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, we've both been, traded a number of times and played on different teams, but like, you go from being the captain of the team, winning a cup there, and you're playing against your boys 4 or 5 days later. It's just like, I can't imagine. I would love to like sit down and have a blue light with them and be like, dude, what was really going through your fucking head? Like,
well, we'll sit with him next week when
crazy.
he comes on.
Yeah.
It's going to be, he wants to come on and shoot the shit with us, so we'd be happy to have him. And in the meantime, we're going to have a beer for him.
Listen, I'm on the Islanders bandwagon. I jumped on when Darcy came on and gave us such a great insight. He missed you, by the way. He's like, where's Updog? I'm like, St. Bart's. He's like, of course he is. But listen, I like their team. We obviously seen them play last week at the Honda Center. They didn't play a great game, but now they go out and get Schenner. I just love how Darcy's come in here and fucking put his fingerprints all over it. And if you don't like Palois, then hockey might not be your game. So Schenner, enjoy that pristine Pilsner. Blues fans, good on ya. Updog, it is milk carton time here at Missin Curfew. Watched the game last night. Kelly Sutherland. I love Kelly Sutherland. One of my favorite refs. And I'm not putting it on Kelly because he went to the iPad and they went back to Toronto. But Nathan MacKinnon getting a 5 in a game is milk carton city. Listen, Connor Ingram, sorry fella, you were on the tracks when the train was coming through, and listen, I feel bad for him. Like, I've never seen a goalie get cut through a helmet, right? Like, I think that's how hard the fucking impact was. But if we're starting to say that star players can't go to the net as hard as they can, listen, Nurse was caught out of position. We've all been there as a D-man. He is desperate trying to get back. He then hits MacKinnon a little bit. And Nate going that fast, as you know, now it's, sorry, Connor Ingram, but you're fucked. And should have been a penalty? Yeah, give him 2 minutes for interference, but to kick a superstar player of the game for goalie interference when he got bumped into it, I thought it was a really bad look for the league. And personally, I had money on the Avs, so I was choked about that. But in all seriousness, Ups, fuck off with that. That is not a 5 in a game. Come on.
I think it's the outcome. It's the cut. It's the goalie leaving the net. And done for the night. And then it's just a heat of a game. Is the backlash going to be worse if they give him a 5 or if they only give him 2? I think they want to protect goalies when they're in the crease, no matter if you get nudged or not. You always got to be aware. To your point of star players going to the net hard, that's what hockey's all about. They teach you that from the first time you ever play a game. But there's a fine line. If he's not cut and he's not bleeding going off, it's most likely it's 2. If he stays in the net, fuck, it couldn't have been maybe even anything.
You can't really, in my opinion anyways, you can't look at it like that because for example, a follow through is not a penalty. And you see guys come off the ice like they just got literally slashed in the face with a hockey stick, and that's not a penalty. So I see what you're saying. Ingram was in rough shape, but if we're going to get to the point of where we're going to tell our players not to attack the net hard, I mean, listen, we've already made this game fucking soft enough. And now you're going to tell Nathan MacKinnon he can't fucking go to the against. It was a massive game for both teams, a statement game around the league for both of them. And MacKinnon's just playing his guts out. Nurse bumps into him, hits him. It's a 2-minute penalty.
Yeah.
And it's over. To me, that's a slippery slope because now they've opened up a window here where if this happens again, they're like, well, MacKinnon got 5. And like, we don't want to be just tossing guys out of the fucking game here.
I think if the goalie's feet are in the blue paint, it's always will favor the goalie, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
just the way it
it's
is.
really unfortunate because now you're like those plays in front of the net where guys are going to the net and like, fuck, you get rewarded for going there. If guys are scared of getting kicked out of games, especially star players.
Yeah.
I mean, when MacKinnon went out, the game was over. I just don't think that's what I think the NHL made a mistake. That's why I fired him on the milk carton. So, Connor Ingram, I hope you're okay. I do believe come game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs that Connor Ingram will be the starter forever.
For sure, yeah.
If his head didn't get knocked off his shoulders.
He's going to wear a helmet like Artis Survey.
Yeah. Hopefully he's okay.
The Mike Vernon, the double color.
Yeah.
Big man.
The only shot I thought I had ups was like, oh, well, at least Jari's coming in here off the bench cold. I'm like, shoot the puck on this guy.
No, he played pretty good.
Played all right. Made a big save right when he got in there. I'll tell you what, though, if you want to stay on the Oilers real quick, Connor Murphy and Dickinson, I know it's a really short sample size, but like since they've been in there, I don't know if it's maybe coincidence and now the boys are starting to realize they're under 20 games, but Connor Murphy does his thing. He's good on the penalty kill. Dickinson's good on the penalty kill. He kind of mucks it up out there. He gives him another right-handed shot. And then Dickinson is just that third-line center that now Uppy you can put out there, and it's kind of responsible. Like they look better defensively since they've got those two guys.
I mean, they didn't have much to give away or to spend, and call it what it is, statistics-wise, or how you see they're playing. It's been better. It's been uplifting. It's addressed depth. Depth is addressed. I think Dickinson's a glorified. He's a glorified two-way guy. He plays a lot like Adam Henrique, and when you need a guy to take draws and eat minutes at the end of the game, so McDavid doesn't have to take block shots in the feet. That this is all positive things that definitely Stan Bowman was considering before going to this deadline.
Yeah, and I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins might, seeing the boys on Missin Curfew saying to get him out of town because he played unbelievable last night.
Yeah, it's good.
Then I was like, the way he played last night, I'm like, fuck, it's tough to trade a guy who's only making, what, 5? And he's that good, right?
Well, then you need to get in another guy that's underpaid and that good.
Yeah.
But
if I'm in the Oilers, I'm sure McDavid and Draisaitl are grabbing lunch after practice today or wherever the fuck they are, and they're looking at the standings, and they're like, for all the shit that we've been through this year, we are 3 points behind the Anaheim Ducks, and they have a game in hand. But, right, you got to be thinking this is our division. I mean, Vegas is, I don't know what's going on there either, but right up, dog, if you're in the Oilers.
3 points for leading the division.
To lead the division. Have home ice. Fuck it for the first 2 rounds. Let's go. Next thing you know, we're in the conference finals playing the Avs.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean,
hockey.
Oilers fans, you guys are great to Missin Curfew, and I know I love you. The last couple games I've seen them play against Vegas and Colorado, they look way better. They had nowhere to go but up with their structure, but I'm talking up, in my opinion, way better.
Way better.
Like,
I agree.
Even McDavid was playing more defensive. Draisaitl, like, I think
time of year
I think they're starting to fucking ride the upside with the Oilers.
Isn't it up, Tim?
Yeah. Speaking about riding the upside, shout out to our boy. Back up the Brinks truck. Beep, beep, beep. Back it up here. Nicky Schmaltz. We lost Jay Swish. He had to catch a flight. He's off to Chicago, but I know he's a proud brother right now. Nicky, 8 times 8, 64 bananas. Up, dog. That will keep the lights on. However, I'm just trying to, I bumped into a big candidate, getting out of the pool, and the first thing I said to you is like, fuck, these guys don't test the market, eh? Like, Nicky gets here. He's having a great year. You're 20 games away from the season being over. You're going to be in the playoffs. Do you not want to maybe just, wait and see what's out there? But it's a lot of money either way.
It's a great deal. It's a great deal for both sides. I think Ryan Smith, after the trade for Uyghur, realizing the room that he has, in this game, it's hard to build chemistry in a room, and it's hard for guys to really understand their role. And I think, Jordan Schmaltz is a guy, Nicky Schmaltz, is a guy that has understood what it takes to be a pro. He's gotten better and better every year. He's a great player that helps all the teammates. He's great with the trainers. He's a good Schmaltz. And I think they valued that. So I think they came up to a number that made sense. Always tough in our position sitting here going, fuck, would you not like to be the guy? I think imagine going into the July 1 being the guy, or a group of small guys that are coming off like 70, 80 point seasons, and you're just going cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
He's going to score 30.
Yeah.
And he's going to get, he could get almost 80 points. He's going to get 70 points for sure.
For sure. So that's on the open market. It's 10, maybe it's 12.
I think it's 10.
So,
I would have told old Billy Strongarm, as Fishy says, I want 8 times 10. But what I will say, and you mentioned Smitty, Ryan Smith, and, the whole organization, but it shows that these guys want to be there. And, Uyghur just, Uyghur just waived his no move to go there. And the first thing he said to me about it was, how great the players are treated, how great the owner is, how great, like he talked to all the boys, guys that have played there, Kells, and to a player that's important, right? You want to be treated like a national leaguer. So, good for Smitty, good for the Mammoth. They're ready to rock. They're going to be a playoff team, and I'm happy for them. Those boys deserve it. They've been through a lot. So, last but not least, here before we get to our guest, it is the Jäger Iciest shot of the night, presented by Jägermeister. Serve it cold or don't serve it all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold. For more information, visit Jägermeister.com. And fellas, always drink responsibly. Ice pick before you roll it. Hold on a second. Puck up, dog. We had a few. I'm going to give some honorable mentions here. Killer, your shootout winner last week against the Habs. That was it. Then McDavid's goal last night was in the mix too. We had a team meeting. Updog said, Obes, it's got to be this one. So roll it. Ice pick. It is our boy, Matty Barzal. Last night in OT. Nice little play by Schenner there. And Matty says, I'll take care of the rest, fella. How are you? Game over. Corn dogs, Jackie. For all these people. That was a snipe, and damn, that's cold, Updog.
Your boy Duran was on the ice trying to do nothing with Schenner. Schenner just so patient back there.
Yeah.
Just the captain of patience. He's back there.
There he is.
Makes a great play in the neutral zone. Barzal just coming in, one of the best forwards in the league for highly skilled, usually a passer. This play, he's a shooter. And boy, it was quick off his stick, far side shelf. How are you? Pumpernickel into the corner.
What the fuck is Cairo doing?
Third Enterprise Center, just quiet as could be.
You're a forward. He's got to play it a little bit better than this, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you want to, I don't know, stick on puck or
anything but that. Anything between putting it between your triangle and snapping it over the. Matty Barzal, damn, that's cold. Jäger boys, always drink responsibly, but get some ice cold Jägers in you. Updog, my man, friend of the show, Hockey Hall of Famer, Stanley Cup champ, Olympic gold medalist.
Author.
And by the way, if you're on X, nobody's safe with this guy firing away. Chris Pronger coming up next. I'm Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Updog, Swishy. One of my favorite veteran teammates I ever played with. I got to be honest, when I first walked in, after I left the schlub room at Anaheim Ice, where you're down there with the American League guys and they tell you make the team and you come into the big room. When I walked in and first kind of saw this guy, I was a little bit intimidated, but Stanley Cup champ, Olympic gold medalist, and social media guru, Chris Pronger. Prongs, thanks for taking the time, buddy.
Who knew?
I know.
Thank you. Who knew, right?
I'd like to just say, maybe give us a few pointers, eh? We could use a little help on the social media aspect because you're just firing.
Yeah.
You're all over it, bud.
Oh, I'm a six-cylinder right now. I'm trying to get the V8.
Hey, Prongs, I got to be honest with you. I bumped into your brother, Sean Pronger, at A&O at the Balboa Bay Club. This is probably, I don't know, last summer maybe or whatever, and we're talking about you, obviously, and I said, I got to be honest with you, Sean. I didn't see Big Prongs, like, being a social, I thought if anything, he might stay away from the social media. And he's like, I got to be honest with you too. And you kind of went the other way, Prongs. And I love you on there. You're a presence.
Yeah, it's you know what I like is how somebody with 4 followers is very rude and crass, and they like to throw out their opinions and call you names and be mean and try to bully you. And clearly they don't know who they're talking to.
Yeah, clearly they haven't stood in front of a net before. I got fucking cross-checked about 8 times right in the try. He knew where to get you. Oh, you knew where to get me. Oh, yeah. I'm glad I'm just looking across at the microphone or the video camera, and I'm not having to deal with the dead arm.
Yeah. Prongs, I should have known though that you would excel at social media just by the way you handled the media throughout your career. Your days in Philly and mainly Philly, but you didn't step back, and that's another thing I respect about you. You're honest. You played hard. Across the line sometimes, but then you answered the media and you were yourself, man.
Yeah, when I got to Philly, Updog knows they can be hard. They can be very liberal, maybe with some of the truth or opinionated, if you will. But I think my relationship and I think my reputation going in there was. I had a meeting with him on day one after I did the press conference with Mr. Snyder and Paul Holmgren, the GM at the time. I met with every single one of them. I said, listen, I don't care what you write. Write good things, write bad things, rip me. I really don't care, but just don't misquote me and don't lie.
Yeah.
And if you do those 2 simple things, I'll be in front of you every single day to answer every question. We've got a job to do to promote the game and talk about the game and good, bad, or indifferent. So I think, I had a lot of good veterans along the way. Brad McCrimmon was my mentor in Hartford. God rest his soul. And obviously got to St. Louis with Holly and Al and Furzy. Got a chance to play with Gretz here. So a lot of veterans along the way to kind of see how they managed the relationship with the media and really, understand that they've got a job to do. They're your conduit to the fan base a lot of times. Now with social media, not as much, but I think you have to use them and they need to use you to help grow and promote the game at that particular time.
Prongs, the way you handle the media is kind of how you were as a teammate too. People always ask me, like, what was it like playing with Prongs? I'm like, he's a beauty. He's a great guy. He laughs around, but when it comes,
he likes you.
yeah, so when it comes to practice, Prongs practices fucking hard and he plays hard. As long as your teammates played hard and practiced hard, Prongs, it was easy that year in Anaheim too, and we won every game. You didn't have a problem with anyone as long as they played the hard way and did their job, right?
Yeah, just show up. I think, to your point that first year I got there, you, Getsy, Perry, Penner, the young guys in the locker room, all beauties. One of them, believe it or not, is still playing. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but
crazy. That is crazy.
You think back on that. I think just to my experience with the veterans that I had kind of coming up, the GM of the Anaheim Ducks, Pat Verbeek, was my first captain in Hartford. And so when you have those guys, and I'm not going to say they're paying it forward, but they're trying to teach you how to be a pro, teach you how to handle the scrutiny and the notoriety and the pressure and the media and, fans coming at you. And then, oh, by the way, you got to play the game.
Yeah.
And you got to play to a high level. How you practice, how you train, how you prepare for not only the games, but also practice and make sure that you're trying to get better every day. And, I think it's kind of a lost art in today's game. I know they don't practice much because of the schedule and the mandatory days off and things of that nature, but accountability goes a long way. And I think that the teams that we see right now in the National Hockey League that are playing at a high level, you can tell that they, number one, have a belief in one another, and that comes from accountability, holding one another to a standard, and then going out and executing on it.
Prongs, I love your social media presence. I especially love when you call guys by their full name, like Andrew as in Andrew Strickland, and Kenneth as in, Ken Campbell. Kenneth will forever kill me, but I relay it back to just your smart ass remarks, which I love, and also just your dry wit. It takes me back to when I used to watch you as a kid, 2010. I know that one probably still stings a little bit, but you still at least have one mug to show for. But when the media asked you in Philadelphia and they were like, yeah, Adam Burrish said he's going to get you the next time he sees you. And you go, where will that be? The minors? And you just look around.
I hated Burrish.
That was so good. That was so good. Oh, man.
That was a good one. I still got a lot of street cred for that one.
Yeah.
The funny part is, here's the thing. We were playing them the next year, and they were in Boston the night before we played them. So we practiced the day before. So they're in Boston, and I'm starting my routine. I am going to murder this kid. It's on. I got my fighting elbow pads. I've got all my stuff ready. I mean, this kid is going to take a beating. And sure enough, he fights Andrew Ferentz that night and breaks his face.
Yeah.
I don't even get to play against the guy again.
Yeah, he was a phony.
And then later on in 2017, we're playing in the Winter Classic, and he's playing for the Chicago Blackhawks alumni, and I'm obviously with the booze, and people are trying to stir it up, and I'm like, guys, I'm 40-some years old, like enough.
Yeah.
I mean, let's let bygones be bygones here. It's in the heat of the moment. I do find it a little odd that in the midst of him carrying the Stanley Cup, he's actually thinking about me. Right. It just goes that just speaks to how high level my pots and pans getting in the kitchen worked.
100%. That was one of my favorite parts. You're like, by the way, if he's thinking about me right after he wins the Stanley Cup, this kid might have bigger issues. I'm like, well said, Prongs. Like, I would be thinking about everything but Chris Pronger right now. You just won the Stanley Cup, but you're still in his kitchen.
Yeah. I think I was in a few other kitchens.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd be dreaming, although he's having nightmares.
Yeah.
Prongs coming after him next game.
I used to hate that fucking Burrish. I mean, I grabbed him one night at the United and said, I didn't even give him a chance. Right out of a scrum, my first fight in Vancouver, I just grabbed him. But man, he could chirp. I'll give him that. He could get under my skin, that fucker. He would beak me the entire game. You fat fuck, you slow. I'm like, I want to kill this fucking guy. If I could get my hands on him. Hey,
No, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, he played hard.
Yeah.
He did his job.
Yeah. He's got one more cup than I do, too. Or did he win more than one?
No, I think he wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah, the one, right?
Yeah.
Although I had one. We don't have to take a shot. I had one that snatched out of my hands by the big Irishman, Brian Burke. You couldn't just do the trade in the goddamn offseason, Berkey, but that's neither here nor there, eh, Prongsy?
That's right. Whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah, I still love you, Berkey. You good Irish lad. Prongs, obviously, you represented Team Canada throughout your whole playing career, and no one's prouder to put on that maple leaf than you. And listen, it was enjoyable texting with you throughout the tournament. It obviously didn't work out the way we wanted to. I'm sure you've answered questions with this, but I had to ask you, what were your thoughts on it? I mean, we put a hell of an effort in the gold medal game, but nonetheless, we came up short.
Yeah, I thought they played their best game of the tournament in the gold medal game. They dominated the second and third period. I would say the first was outside of the goal, the mistake. I have really nothing but positive things to say about the way they played. Binnington stood tall when he needed to be there. They created a ton of offensive opportunities. I think the grade A chances and the time of possession in zone was triple that of the U.S. So when you look at all the metrics, all the data, it skews to Canada. But at the end of the day, we all know you got to score one more than the other team to win, and they weren't able to do that. I'm not a fan of 3-on-3 in a gold medal game, just like I wouldn't be for a Stanley Cup final. I know we won 4-on-4 in Vancouver in 2010, and I'm not even a fan of that. I think it should be 5-on-5 personally, but I do know they want the game to end. They want to get to the closing ceremonies. There's obviously that's the last event of the Olympic Games. So I understand the logistical nature of it all, but it's still, I'm just not a huge fan of it.
It would have been tough either way to win.
However, sorry, I will say, Hellebuck was lights out. I want to give him his flowers too. He was stellar.
Yeah.
And answered a lot of critics with that one.
Yeah, I think we'd all be collectively on the same page. Had we won or lost that game, we lost, but we would all be the same way. We shouldn't have played 3-on-3. That's just there.
Yeah.
Prongs, just with U.S. winning this cup, and you've been in the U.S. forever. I'm sure you got American-born kids. You still live down here. What do you think winning that gold medal for them is doing for the landscape of hockey, for the growth of hockey? And, we all give back to the game now in different ways. We're doing podcasts, you're, writing books and doing your stuff on TV, but the growth of the game couldn't probably have seen a better moment, with Jack Hughes scoring a goal like that. But just maybe your thoughts on, how we could catapult this tournament into, taking hockey to the next level.
Well, I think we look at 1980 and what that did for the game of hockey in the U.S. And now hopefully what this does is this gold medal in 2026. And when you look at the TV metrics over the last little bit since the Olympics and some of the games that have been played, how passionate the games are, that's one thing that I love to see now. It went the way of the dodo bird when Don Fehr was the head of the union. I hated the game was terrible. He had these guys convinced they needed to be baseball players and not play when they're hurt, and kind of really ruined the culture, I think, of the locker room and the togetherness. And now over the last, 5 or 6 years, you can see the passion of the players, the skill, and then the commitment to one another and the belief in how they need to play to be successful and ultimately win a Stanley Cup. I think the game is in a great place with, especially with the talent, the skill of the players. And now to see the passion and that excitement and energy come out really showcases the game on a number of fronts.
Yeah, Prongs, before I slide over to Swishy, I just want to go back to Team Canada. Like, we should have won, right? And I'm not putting on Doug Armstrong at all. Like, Army's got one more cup than I done. He's had a hell of a career. He's built great hockey clubs in St. Louis. He built a great hockey team to take over to Milan. But moving forward here, we lost the Olympics. We haven't won World Juniors in a couple of years. We didn't win the World Championship. It's like, all right, boys, it's starting to add up here. Like, when you look at a team now, or Team Canada, sorry, Prongs, every 4 years, right, we're going to have a World Cup and Olympics. Do you think maybe it's time we look at hiring a guy, like, let's just use you, for example. For 4 years, you're the GM of the World Cup team and the NHL team, and you just focus on that and not bring an NHL GM in?
Well, I think it takes a lot of the potential issues they might have with their team and their players.
Yeah.
Why didn't you take me? Or you're taking a guy and, because you don't want to piss him off. It's certainly something that they should look into. You look at who they brought, who they didn't bring. I mean, Josh Morrissey played half a period.
I know. Heck.
Like that again. Like he got hurt. He got sick and hurt in the Four Nations. Gets hurt again real quick in this one. And I think they were really relying on him to be a stout puck mover and getting up the ice, providing a lot of offense, secondary power play and such. So that kind of stings. Should they have taken Bouchard or should they have taken Schaefer? We can talk about that till the cows come home. I mean, we've all said they all played them, they just didn't win. So what would you have done different? How are they going to score more goals? I mean, they got the puck into the players, Celebrini breakaway, McDavid breakaway, empty net for MacKinnon. Like, what else you want?
Yeah, sure.
This show. So like we can pick it apart 1,000 different ways. At the end of the day, just execute, finish it.
Prongs, let's stay right there with you. Like, is that something on your horizon where you would want to jump into a managerial role, a president of hockey operations? You're obviously doing a lot of media stuff now. You have a very good mind for the game. That's no doubt. Is that something that you would have interest in stepping in a front office and running a club?
I learned a long time ago, never say never at any point. I will never play under a salary cap.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you will. So never say never. I think if the opportunity was right, I certainly would look at it. But, I'm enjoying what I'm doing now, the media stuff, the public speaking, as you mentioned, book and all the rest of it. It's been a lot of fun. It's being on the periphery of the game, and when you're in the media, as you guys know, you're stalwarts yourself, you get a better perspective. You get a better perspective of the total landscape of the league. You get more touch points with all the teams versus siloed off and really focused on just one team or one division. You get a better perspective on a lot of players throughout the course of the landscape of the league.
Yeah, Trish, you tee me right up, Prongs, and first of all, I think you'd be a hell of a GM, president, whatever it would be. But I look at the league now, Prongs, and nobody played harder than you, buddy. And you look at the Florida Panthers, back-to-back Stanley Cup champs, they got bite. You look at the Tampa Bay Lightning this year, leading the league in fighting majors. I got to give credit to Don Sweeney and Seabass, Cam Neely there. They brought in Tanner Jeannot and a tough team. Like, Prongs, do you think are we kind of getting back to where let's not take toughness for granted? Maybe it is a check in the box of let's get some fucking guys here that play with some piss and vinegar.
Yeah, play with some grit, and I think like you talk about Tampa, yeah, they're fighting, but it's more like the team toughness, the compete on the pucks, the battles in the corners and along the walls. That's where championships are won. That we can call that part of defense, if you will. But you talk about Florida, you talk about Vegas, you talk about that St. Louis team, you talk about the teams that have won cups over the last 10 years, and I think it really goes back to my point about Don Fear and the Union. The league has now rolled over into the guys that want to play hard at crunch time, the playoffs. Those are the teams that are going to be successful. They can intimidate and bully to a certain extent some of the teams that maybe are not maybe put together in the appropriate manner. I mean, you still have to be able to play the game, and that's the trick, is finding that balance of grit and skill and putting it all together, being able to move up and down the ice and play with some pace. Just watching Florida the last couple of years against Edmonton and how they shut down McDavid, how they shut down Draisaitl, the gaps that they had. I mean, they were taking them on the rush before the red line. Like, their gaps were so tight, they had nowhere to go. They had no time and space.
Just before I turn it over to Updog, these teams weren't the 06-07 Ducks, though. We could play her anyway.
Not even close.
Where do you want to play it, in a parking lot or out here at the Honda Center? We'll play her anywhere you want.
Oh, shit. You guys are fucking good. Hey, Prongs, I just want to bring us back to what we talked about earlier. Corey Perry, for example. Could you fathom you've been there and you've won, but you've also lost in the finals. Could you fathom going to the dance 5 years in a row? And just what you talk about, team toughness, you talk about pace, getting up and down the ice. The worm, and John Cooper often says that worms never die. Worms don't just suck. He might be right. But can you fathom in your mind what it would be like to go to 5 finals in a row at 40 years old now and to still be a guy that is hunted at a trade deadline to come back in and help the group for team toughness, for goal scoring, for hockey knowledge? Compare that to something, in life right now, what Corey Perry's doing.
Yeah. The fact that they're relying on a 40, 41-year-old to provide the energy and the grit and the gamesmanship to know when to fight, when to stir the pot. I think we all know he was never a great skater, so it actually fits perfectly.
Yeah.
The way that he plays, in and around the net, great hands. You can play him on the fourth line. You can play him on the first line. That's the beauty of it because he's so smart, great hockey sense, great hockey IQ, but his ability to, work off of his line mates and either stir it up, play with that grease and that edge, or get into it and score some goals. I mean, he's already scored a number of goals for Tampa since his acquisition. So, and the toll on his body, you got to think I think it's 5 of 6. He's been to the finals. Oh, he's hoping to get back again. It is not easy on the body to go to the finals and play that style and the physical nature that it takes in the playoffs. As you know, it ramps up, tenfold come playoff time with each round as you get closer and closer. So it's pretty impressive to see what he's been able to do. And why teams keep trying to acquire him because they know he's the good luck charm. He's just got to get it over the edge.
Yeah.
He's got to win one of these times.
If you don't have any muscle, though, you can't pull muscles, eh? So he doesn't have to worry about that. He doesn't have to worry about pulling a muscle because he's like a fucking rubber band, Pierre, eh? Like it's unbelievable. But Prongs, I said that too, like he's never been the fleetest of foot and like he always had to play with his brain in his hands, right? So like for him, the longevity, he's always been playing like that.
Yeah, you see him in and he's always in and around the net. He's always 5 feet and in from the goaltender, the blue paint. That's where he's at his best. Pissing off the goalie, pissing off the defenseman, getting in their kitchen, banging some pots and pans, and then banging that black puck in the net.
Yeah.
Prongs, I want to take you back to 1993. You get drafted 2nd overall, the pride of Dryden, Ontario, going to the Hartford Wailers. Now, you show up to camp, and Pierre McGuire, I believe a 31 or 32-year-old, is your head coach. What is the big fella thinking as Pierre McGuire is skating around and giving you advice? How was that? He was a first-time head coach, obviously not a ton of even coaching experience. What was that like as an 18-year-old, as Chris Pronger? Were you leaning on Beast in those days?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, lots. I roomed with Beast. He was my D partner. He was, right next to me in the locker room. He was my 24/7 supervision. A couple times it didn't work out very well. Couple stints in the clink, but
that's baseball.
Builds
happens, right?
Builds character, eh? Builds character.
That's right. It gives me another story to tell. But no, having him coupled it. I was pretty. I'm not going to say I was naive. Maybe immature would be the right word. I was mature as it related to hockey, but anything else, it was 18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And obviously back then there was no internet, not a whole lot of anything else to do. So, a much older league, so there wasn't a lot of young guys in our team. So it was a challenge at times to, not go out with the guys and do things, and especially at home. On the road, you're going for dinners and you're all hanging out. You're in a hotel and all the rest of the stuff, but at home, it was difficult. I lived with the family my first year, and then my second year, I moved out and went to an apartment where a bunch of other guys kind of lived near me. But that was probably the hardest thing, was just being away from the rink. It was very quiet, not a lot to do. Hartford isn't exactly a thriving metropolis.
Yeah, no kidding.
So it was a challenge.
Striving metropolis.
Well said there. Well said there.
Or as Chaser calls it, Shawshank.
Prongs, I got to ask you, buddy. Swishy just mentioned there you're a good Ontario boy. Peterborough Pete's. Congrats on the top 50 there too. I love that you have the old Cooper Technoflex gloves on. I asked for those every Christmas. That's what I wanted. Those old. There was a nice glove. Those Cooper Technoflex.
Very comfy. They rolled really nice. Did you like my 3/4 shield?
You know what? The shield wasn't
welding that.
Your style definitely got better as your career went on. I looked up to your style with the tongues hanging out, the shot blockers, but yeah, that visor needed some work, fella.
Yeah, most of the guys had it tilted way up here, and that thing, too small a head. That thing just fell down.
Yeah, the gloves didn't come off now with the new gloves like they used to. They used to just slide off.
Oh yeah,
guys would be just dropping.
Especially when
very comfy.
Especially with the Pete's and Generals back in the day. I remember going to some of those games where it was just like, look out. I'm like, I remember leaving being like, do I really want to play hockey? Do I really want to play in the UHF? But Prongs, I couldn't have you on without asking about the Leafs, buddy. I grew up a diehard Leafs fan. Listen, I drank the Kool-Aid. I thought the moves of Waugh and Joshua, size down the middle, Michelli's going to add some offense. I thought, yeah, they'll take a step back in the regular season, but if they get in the playoffs, they're going to be a tougher team, a tougher out. Well, it looks like they're going to have a top 5 pick here, but I guess my question is, Prongs, on the outside looking in, was Marner that important to this team, or when you watched them, is there more to it than just, obviously losing Mitch Marner?
Well, you're losing 100 points.
Yeah.
And he was kind of the catalyst in the power play. He drove a lot of offense, drove through him. Do they miss him? Yes. He was a good fit. They built their roster around him and Austin and Willie. I just think the style that they play, they're not committed defensively. I think it's a couple different things. They're not committed defensively. They make a lot of mistakes in their own zone. So they spend a lot of time in there. And similar to Vancouver, they don't get stops. They're not able to seal guys off quickly, get loose pucks, and then get transition and get going because they don't defend well enough. They're not committed as a group to shut it down. They're just kind of there taking up space, hoping to go the other way and, either circling or doing whatever. And the same thing goes true. Like I'm talking about Vancouver, same thing goes true for Edmonton. Like if you're not committed defensively, you're not going to spend a lot of time on offense. Teams are too good. You're gonna tease yourself against the weaker teams because you're gonna have the puck, or the top end guys are gonna have the puck. But if you're not holding one another accountable to play well defensively, especially if you don't have great puck movers on the back end, if you're kind of meat and potatoes back there, or you're a young group trying to figure it out, you're gonna struggle because you're not gonna have the puck very much.
Yeah,
it's tough because the Oilers, for example, they always figure it out later on, and then they tighten it up, and then they play 3-1 games, and then they make the conference finals, and then they make the Stanley Cup finals. But it's inconsistency that must drive a champion like you nuts when you're like, God, if I was playing the left side with this Bouchard right now, I would not let him. I'd cross-check him harder than I'm going to cross-check the fucking opposing.
Let me tell you right now, if Chris Pronger was Evan Bouchard's defenseman, Evan Bouchard would play a lot harder in the D zone because he'd have the big man fucking chomping at him every day in practice, being like, either play hard in practice in the game or.
But they do tighten it up. They actually tighten it up, and the way they played last.
And by the way, if you look at his stats, the last, we were in there doing an Amazon game, and we talked to Chris Knobloch, and the first couple months, his stats were terrible defensively, and I don't know if it was a hangover from, the 2 long runs, injuries, tired, whatever, or just not a lack of commitment on that side of the puck, or he just was not, out to lunch a little bit. And he after November, late towards American Thanksgiving, the switch went off. And if you look at his analytics from then to now, he's number 1 in the league, even defensively. But, like a lot of the mistakes that you see on TV are from October, November. He's still, listen, we all make mistakes. We all, might serve up the odd pizza. We all, miss a pass, whatever. Not get a guy's stick in the D zone, whatever. I mean, those mistakes happen, but he has been much improved in that aspect. But overall, like they all, Darnell Nurse to Ekholm to Bouchard to Wallman, it's a team identity thing. And it goes, and by the way, it goes to McDavid, Draisaitl. All of those guys have to be committed. You and I both know it starts at the top.
Yeah.
If the top guys, if our star players are committed to playing defense, then everybody else is going to fall in line. They're doing it all. I got to do it.
Yeah.
And by the way, if let's use McDavid as an example. If he's not playing hard defensively, he can't come in the locker room and give guys shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're going to look at him and go, buddy, you're not playing defense. I get you got 150 points, but if we're giving up 5 a night, and by the way, the goalie's got to make a couple stops too. If you tighten everything up and then hopefully give your goaltender some confidence, then maybe they'll be back. But they don't look as committed as they have in years past. And I think it's also, going in there when I was in there in November, part of it was too early in the season to start trying. We're tired.
Yeah.
It's a long season. It's a compressed schedule. We got the Olympics, so I think guys are waiting. Okay, let's get past the Olympics. I want to get, if you're Connor, I want to get the Olympic experience. I want to try to win a gold medal. And then it's okay. Now we're like, okay, we're done with all that garbage. Now we can focus on this. Let's get committed to playing the right way.
Yeah, and that 100% happened, right? You could tell,
they're not just tired; they're defeated. They imagine,
I guess.
Prongs, imagine the back-to-back heartbreaks with the two best players in the world in your room, crying and fucking, dealing with the summer of.
He lost one final.
No, I know, but back-to-back and not having one under your belt, and then Prongs, you know what it's like in Edmonton, like the whole city's behind you, and it's like you're that close to kissing God's fucking grail, and then. Boom, again, we've got to wait 365 days to get back here. It's not just tired, it's defeated. But to your point on the commitment part, Prongs, it's what you preach now. It's the stories you share on how to get excellence out of yourself and stuff. And it's sharing good times and bad times. But it seems like these guys have only dealt with fucking tough times.
Yeah. The discipline to good habits, and then consistently being smart and having good habits. It's discipline, habits, consistency. That's the hallmark of a true pro. That's what it takes. And if you look at, and it's hard to do, to your point, year 1, year 2, and now they're in year 3 of having gone to the finals or trying to go to the finals again and try to win. The pressure that McDavid has on his shoulders from himself internally of, I got to win. I've got to win a Stanley Cup. I've got to, create my legacy or form a legacy of winning, of excellence. You just now lost a heartbreaker and win a silver medal. Yes, he scored the winning goal in the Four Nations. I think if you're him, you're putting an awful lot of pressure on yourself that is already coming down from the fan base, from the organization. They have high expectations, but nobody has higher expectations than that kid. Yeah. And so I think internally he's like just pushing so hard. I have to do this. And, because the media, the fans, the bigger hockey community is looking at him like he hasn't cemented his legacy yet. Unless he wins the Stanley Cup, he's not going to be considered, one of the best ever, which I'm sorry. It's a team game.
Yeah. You teed me right up. I had one more questions about the Leafs, but before MacBoy turned it right to the Oilers, hey, he's fucking elites. He plays Oilers and Bluey.
Yeah, he's on.
He turned it right to Oilers to La Bamba. Play La Bamba. Yeah, play La Bamba. But Prongs, on McDavid, listen, buddy, you went second over to Hartford. You get traded to St. Louis. You have good teams in St. Louis. You don't win a cup there. It's not entirely your fault, right? You move on to Edmonton. You take them to the finals. You don't win there. It's not entirely your fault. Then you get over the line with the Anaheim Ducks. Where I'm going with this is like, does it matter that much that he has to win one?
By the way, that was year 13.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. But that was year 13. But I think that the idea behind it doesn't matter maybe in the grand scheme of thing, but it matters to the Oilers and the fans.
Of course, I'm talking about him.
But no, I know. But the legacy, but they're looking at it as the legacy of the Oilers and him with the Oilers, him bringing back a championship.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't win one there, I don't know when they're going to get another chance. I'm dead serious. Yeah. 20 years since I was, 18 years since they went back to the finals from when I was there. 2006 to 2024. And now, we're 20 years to the, it'll be 20 years to the day that they hope to get back and finally get one since we were there in 2006. If you're him, you want to do it there.
Yeah.
I think that's to cement his legacy in Edmonton and what he's meant to that city and that franchise and, the alleged decade of darkness after I left.
It was real cold there when you left. Yeah.
I had a lot of minuses. I don't know how dark it was there. I had a lot of minuses in that barn with Eberle and Hall fucking cheating on the fucking offensive side of the puck.
Yeah, they took the red line out, and then all of a sudden, it's fucking, where are you going? Where are these guys going?
Hey, Prongs, before I turn over to Swish, did you ever, in your wildest dream, imagine people be taking pay cuts to stay in Edmonton, though? Did you ever think a guy be taking fucking $7 million less to stay in Edmonton? What's going on, boys? I mean, hey, I love the Oilers fans, but come on.
Well, I think that speaks to his commitment to wanting to win there.
Yeah.
You know, like he's got his buddy Draisaitl there. He's got a lot of guys that have been there a long time with him. And I think it's his commitment to want to try to finish it off in style there. And I think if they're able to win one there, I think he signs a long-term deal. If he doesn't, then I think they have to look at trading him and get
sayonara. Sayonara.
Prongs, I want to bring the attention to the pride of Chippewa Street over at the KeyBank Arena. Now, Buffalo is buzzing like a no vacancy sign at a roadside motel right now. That ain't a shocker right now. And people are going crazy. They're drunk. They're smoking darts in the 300 level section. But I love what you talk about when you talk about identifying a number one defenseman. Now, I think they have that in Rasmus Dahlin.
They would.
I want to turn the attention to who should be their number two, is 4-year pro and developing National Leaguer Owen Power. He's 6'6", same height as you, but at times, and a lot of the times, I think he just plays a little bit more or less soft. So how would you, if you were to give him advice or you were talking to him, how would you get him to maybe play on his toes a little bit more, play more physical in and around the net, be a bigger presence back there? Because ultimately, I do think they need that to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I would agree on that part. I've watched that kid since he's 15.
Yeah.
And he has always, for a big man, he can skate.
Oh, yeah.
Great skater. Good, good vision. Honestly, one of his only drawbacks and his biggest issue is we can call it a lack of compete. We can call it a lack of aggression, very similar to how people look at Colton Parayko. They want this kid out there running around, killing guys and, again, 6'6", but it's not in his nature.
Yeah.
So I think what they're trying to work on him, I think more this year is just competing harder in and around the front of the net. He's not going to be a guy that's going to kill guys in, behind the net and in the corners. He's going to have a good stick. He needs to use his body to, lean on the opposition a little bit, but it's that jam in front of the net where he's pushing back against. I remember seeing a game last year, Dylan Larkin drove the net and basically just like swatted him out of the way and scored a goal. And I chucked my iPad. I'm like, oh my God, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, push back against that. So I think he has done a little better job, but that also, to Obi's point about practice, that's also his teammates challenging him in practice, forcing him to compete in the corners, behind the net, in front of the net, every opportunity they get to do these 3-on-2 drills, to do these 1-on-1 drills, 2-on-1 drills, 2-on-2, 3-on-2, all these different drills that we do in the NHL that try to simulate competition in a game. Those are the moments that they have to be pushing him to really be committed in those situations, to push back and show some jam and some grit, because the more often he leans into that part of his game, the more it's going to become a habit, and he's going to be that much better, because he doesn't have a lot of flaws. He's pretty sound defensively, off the rush, defending. We all make mistakes, but I think because it's him, he's got that microscope on him. Okay, you're the first overall pick. You're supposed to, be the linchpin behind Dahlin. You're making 8.5 sheets. Like, there's a lot of things that people are picking apart.
That's how he's making 5.
And yeah.
That's a lot of bananas.
By the way, after only 80 games in the league, whatever.
Yeah, right? Fuck.
Yeah. So, I think with him, and he's, you look at Matthias Samuelsson, the step he took this year.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great year last year, but he's been twice as good as he was last year. He's been lights out next to Dahlin. Power has been much improved from last year. So their young defensemen have taken a step. And obviously Byram has been good. So they have a good, if you look on the left side, they've got Dahlin, and they could put Byram or Powers, either 1, 2, 3. And then they've got Samuelsson, they've got Kessler, they got Stanley now, they've got
Schenner.
they've got a lot of guys Schenn, they've got a lot of guys that they can kind of roll in there in that 6-7 hole that can provide the grit. But, you talked about Darlene. I love when he gets underneath the guy's skin, man. He pisses a lot of guys off.
Yeah.
Man,
It's just in their face. He's such a competitor. He is one of the best, because he's in Buffalo over these last number of years. People have no idea how good this guy is. His edge work and his skating, I would put up against anybody. Dale McCarr, I don't care. Hughes, this kid, the way that he could patrol the line and use his edge work and then defend, and he's got that grit and that piss and vinegar, and he don't give a shit. He's going to be in your grill the whole game.
Yeah, he had the whole Tampa Bay Lightning team wanted to kill him. Literally, the whole fucking team was Radish, Mangle. I'm like, fuck.
Not many Swedes do that either. No, it's not like a trait that a Swede comes in.
Enstrom.
Yeah, but he was a big off.
How many times in your career do you think you cross-checked Thomas Almstrom? 1,000?
Yeah, at least 4 digits.
That's why the guy can't walk anymore.
I mean, even myself, I would, and Bronx, he wouldn't say a word. He'd just stand there and wouldn't chirp, wouldn't do anything, and just eat it.
Yeah, and I think he had a flak jacket on and a few other things, but as you know, there's a way to find the soft areas, and then you know where to go.
He must have had something, because there's a couple nights I got him like right in there. I'm like, that had to fucking hurt, and he didn't even like flinch. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, no, I think he wore a flak jacket, one of those big rib protector things, but he had it around his whole core.
Yeah, that makes,
so that he could take that beating.
That makes sense. Bronx, I want to ask you about the St. Louis Blues. First of all, you guys have a great alumni. Congrats to you, Chaser, Holly, all the boys. What you guys do there, every team around the league should take notes of that. But
hey, you're leaving Swish out.
Oh yeah, Swish and Uppy. I was working down the depth chart. I was working down the depth chart.
We all had our time.
I was going to get there. Like, if I needed a big shift, let's go. I need some energy here.
Hey, we all were good at different things.
Yeah.
It's a team sport, Prongs.
Yeah.
Prongs said it.
No,
That's right.
I was starting at the Hall of Famers. I was working my way down, but
We were off-race Hall of Famers.
for no argument here.
This is important.
No argument here. But Prongs, the other day I said to Updog, I kind of called out Thomas and Cairo, and once again, Thomas has one more cup than I do. But there were some rumors about them getting traded. I guess, do you think there was a market for them? And what is your opinion on their play? Because I know you have a heartbeat for that city, obviously. When I watch them play, I wish they competed a little harder, I guess.
Yeah, they leave a little to be desired in certain areas of the game. I think Robert is still finding his way into the 1C position. He's always had guys in front of him, and now it is his team. It's now more so than ever with Schenn gone. Them, I would imagine at the deadline or in the summer or whatnot, they'll try to look at moving Parayko again when his no move or no trade turns to a limited no trade. But I think when I watch Robert Thomas, like one of the things that I talked about earlier in the year, they were playing Vegas, and there was still a lot of question marks about Team Canada, and is Doug going to want to take Robert Thomas, etc. And he was matched up against Jack Eichel, and I didn't even notice him. Like that's your chance to show that you belong. That's and I don't know if some of these younger guys look at it in that regard, then see that opportunity for what it is, to showcase that you can not only check Eichel, but you can force him, and you can play with the puck, and you can take him off his game.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it in that one. Now, mind you, he's coming off injury and a couple things. And, as we all know, we don't always disclose all our injuries. So I don't like talking about certain things with some guys. But, I think he's got a lot of development to do off the ice from a fitness perspective. And, his talent, he's a tremendous talent, and he drives the bus. He drives the play when he's out there, but he's not consistent enough because he's got to play a lot of minutes. And I think he could be in better shape to stay sharper. I had to learn that. I mean, most of us, at some point in our career, had to learn how to prepare, how to train, how to play at the highest level possible for our skill set. And I think he's still trying to figure that out. But I think I'm sure they tried to move him.
Yeah.
But you're not going to give away a 1C. He might be a little further down in the 1C. if we're matching where they are, but he still is. And I think at the end of I think that might be another reason why they signed Schmaltz in Utah, is they saw what it was going to take to get him, and they weren't going to come off that ask. And they said, well, why would we give up these prospects when we got one right here?
Yeah.
And he could play the 2C. Logan Cooley could play the 1C. Now you're starting to slot guys into their right spots, and you have this youth coming in. I think the future is definitely bright in Utah with all these guys now signed long term, and then the youth coming in around them for these veteran guys to then teach them how to be pros.
Prongs, before I turn over to Switch, sometimes people, the grass isn't always greener, right? They might think in St. Louis, like, oh, if I go somewhere else, and then the market comes and they're like, well, fuck, hey, boys, no one wanted you. No one wanted you at $8 million. So maybe, figure it out here in St. Louis because there's no one knocking down the door. Like, for me, I'm just talking about me personally. Once you realize, you look around the league, and I was never that good of a player, but when you realize, like, hey, maybe I'm not as good as I fucking think I am here around this league.
Well, I think it's not only that, but I also think it's St. Louis not wanting to give the player away.
Okay.
I think they have a certain value attached to the player, and they're not willing to move off it. They'll they don't have to move the player. They don't have to make the trade, but if they get the ask, then they'll move the player.
Okay.
And I think, especially in Robert Thomas's case, I think they were like, oh, he's incredibly valuable to our team, but if we don't get our ask, we're not moving him. Like, you're going to have to wow us if you really want him. And I think seeing the marketplace and what players are starting to get, at 8.5, 8.25, 8.5, whatever he's at, that's a pretty good value for a first line center. And even if you're a team that already has one, you now slot him in the 2C spot. Now you got a 1A and a 1B coming back, like Crosby and a Malkin, not to that level, but similar, 1A, 1B. You're able to really kind of roll out some volley lines.
Yeah, Doug Armstrong's been known Prongs to not really sign a guy long term and then move him. I don't think he's ever actually bought out a guy after signing him a long term deal. So he has that track record going in with Steiner taking over. It was probably like, let's not make such a splash, but the Parayko move would have been big.
Yeah,
but Army's not been known for that. Prongs, I just want to get back just to the alumni for a second. And we talked about it earlier. You played with Gretz in St. Louis, short cup of coffee for Wayne there. Obviously, Janet grew up there. It was bobblehead night last night. They wore those sick fucking jerseys that you guys had on with the red stripe. To me, those are the best jerseys ever, but
those are nice.
And Wayne is just the ultimate. He is truly the great one for more reasons than, we could talk about in our show. But what, that moment in time, going back to when Wayne's coming into St. Louis and you're a young kid there, and what was that like? I had him as a coach, but like not as a line mate, not as a teammate, not as a guy that did the great one lacing him up with you. But could you share moments like that?
Yeah, it was the perfect time for me. Being booed on home ice here in St. Louis throughout the course of that first year here, having him, or Luke Hughes gets booed one time, and then people are like, oh my God, they're booing him. I'm like, try getting booed for a whole year.
41 straight.
Give me a break. That's nothing. Let's get him to my record. No, but him coming in really took the fans' attention from me, and I was already trending up. I think the booing had already stopped, but they were still focused in on me, and him coming in just diverted their attention for good reason, obviously. But it kind of gave me a chance to watch how he handled the notoriety and the scrutiny and the media and the fan attention, and just the masses that would kind of start following our team and come to our like, we never had people come to watch our practices, and all of a sudden we got like 500,000 people at our practices just watching him out there. And it was a great opportunity for me at that stage in my career to really get an inside look at what a true superstar and an icon in the game, how they handle themselves. And there's a lot of things that I took away from that experience and certainly used in throughout the course of my career.
Prongs, my last one for you. You mentioned it earlier. Your last charity game, or I guess game that you played, was 2017 at the Winter Classic there. you've had some iconic moments over your charity games, including just taking the screws to Justin Bieber in the corner. So I want to know, and I love that shit. I want to know, are you going to come out of retirement for maybe one more game if the opportunity presents itself? Because I would love just to see like a forearm shiver on some actor from Heated Rivalry or something, and just come in there with the nice bow. Hey, fella, welcome to the fucking league here.
You think that's the league? Wait till you see this one.
Yeah. Oh, I would love it, brother.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I was up in Edmonton for our alumni, Edmonton Oilers alumni, played Shoresy, and they were as part of their tour, and we had 12 or 14,000 people at Rogers Place. It was pretty cool. But after watching that game, how fast it was for me as a coach watching, I'm like, there is no way I would want to be out there. First off, if I was out there, somebody would be getting a forearm shiver.
Yeah, I was just going to say
and a tomahawk chop.
Yeah.
Slow down out here.
Yeah. Don't slash me. Slow down.
Don't go wide.
Yeah. Right? You don't have many rules.
Stay in the middle, and you'll be just saying, it used to be I wanted him to go wide. Now I'm like, no, you're not allowed to go wide. Chop you a couple times. You stay in the middle here.
Yeah. I was playing over in Finland, Prongs, and I was fat and slow, and they were buzzing, and I was just cross-checking this. He's like, why you cross-check? I go, why do you go so fast? Slow down, and I won't fucking cross-check you.
You know what? You ran into it.
Hey, Frongs, I love breaking it down with you, buddy. Hey, listen, you got a book coming out. You just, when I think I know you, you surprised me even more, fella. Earned, it's called. And I don't know if everyone, that knows you or, your career obviously you're a Hall of Famer and you had lots of good times. But like you kind of touched at the start, you did go through some adversity as a young kid with a lot of pressure on you. So listen, I've only finished one book in my life, Brian Berard's book. This one will be number 2, as long as the words aren't so big. But just tell our fans about it, buddy.
It's a very nice read. Yeah, I walked through my youth hockey experience. So it's funny, listen to Connor Hellebuck's story, having never played AAA. And everybody's always like, oh my God, that guy never played AAA. I never played AAA either. I played high school hockey in Canada.
We made fun of those guys that played high school hockey in Canada.
Yeah. I played high school hockey for 2 years, grade 9 and grade 10. Then I went and played junior B in Stratford. Thought I was going to go play NCAA hockey like my brother, and decided against it. Went to Peterborough, and obviously 2 years there, and had a great experience in Peterborough. Wouldn't change it for the world. And then, got picked. Nobody remembers number 2, right, Swish?
No, they don't. No. Just ask Kenneth Campbell.
Got to Hartford. I thought the world was my oyster, and the Boo Birds came out unceremoniously for a couple years there. And then I figured, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. I just got traded to St. Louis. I get to play with Brett Hull, not knowing that the team had kind of shifted a bit, and Shanny was the fan favorite and 50-goal scorer and all the rest of it, and come into a pissed off fan base and getting booed for almost the whole year again. And I think people, to your point, they see championships and gold medals and all the rest of it. They always forget about the adversity that we face, all the failure, all the setbacks, and think about all the injuries that I had in my career, the heart event, commotio cordis, the ACL, the forearm. I almost had to retire in 2002 because of my arm, and played another 10 more years after that. So it just what it takes and the resilience that it takes to kind of push through in those difficult moments. And oh, by the way, apparently in those early years in St. Louis, I was a bad leader. If you go back and read all of it, and then I guess later on, similar to, I'm not saying my career is the same, but all those early years in Detroit, you always heard, oh, Steve Yzerman's a bad leader. He's got to be the problem. And all of a sudden now he's looked at as like one of the best leaders ever.
Yeah.
And just how the narrative can change. Like to your point on McDavid, if he has to win a cup, it's amazing what winning a cup does, A, for your legacy, but B, for how people look at you. Just think, if we were sitting here, if Ray Bourque stayed in Boston and never went to Colorado, would we be ever talking about Ray Bourque in the same light without a Stanley Cup? It just, for whatever reason, we, and people hold winning a cup in the highest regard. but we all know, we all played, it is the hardest trophy to win. You know, if you're Corey Perry, you've had 6 cracks at it. You won one when you were 20 years old.
Yeah, thanks to you. Thanks to you. Hey, thanks to you.
But
Thanks to you and Jäegermeister.
but you think about it, like, you know, and if you remember, Dave Ferris used to tell us all the time.
Oh,
He went to the Stanley Cup Finals his first year pro. Dave Ferris was our defense coach in Anaheim, and he used to tell us, guys, take advantage of it. We got something special. You never know. He would tell us he played with the Rangers when they went to the Cup Final in I can't remember, 79 or whatever year that was, and never got back again.
Yeah.
So take advantage of your opportunities every chance you get, and that's where I worry about, you know, McDavid and Draisaitl and the rest of them. Like, going 3 years in a row is hard, and not win. That's hard. And what kind of scar tissue is that creating, that you're not able to get over the hump and you're not able to win it? Like, that's I mean,
I can't.
it hurts.
imagine.
Just, I went to 3 Cup Finals and I got to win 1. It hurt every time somebody brings up Carolina and friggin' Chicago. I get PTSD and
Yeah.
start getting a little agitated and angry.
Start cross-checking people. It's just fuck. It's all how.
You know what? I start gripping the stick a little tighter and somebody's going to get one off the forearms.
Yeah. Dave Ferris, that's a blast from the past. Bronx, he used to just call me in at a switch. I didn't play much. I had the big boy and Niedermeyer playing 28, 29 a night. But I play about 10 to 12 and just try not to take a penalty. But he'd call me in and be like, see this play you make right here? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you make that play, you can't play in the NHL. See this play you made right here? You make this play, you can't play in the NHL. And I would leave there. I'm like, fuck, I don't think I could play in the NHL. I think he might be right. Fuck, I only had 10 shifts and 7 of them I fucked up. Bro, about the book, fella, you're our boy Swishy is, and Uppy's good too. I'm terrible on X. I my grammar, my spelling, it's not perfect, which probably is.
His keyboard warriors take it down too. Oh, you spelled it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, holy fuck, fellas. Nice grammar, O'Brien. I'm like, I don't even know how to spell grammar. But Swishy's very clever. You're good on it. So when you're writing this book, how much of it is it you or someone helping you? Like, how does that work when you're actually writing it?
Yeah, it was a lot of it was me. I used an AI company. Actually, I would voice memo a lot of the stories, like 15, 20 minutes long, you know, whatever, and send it into the AI. It would then put it into the framework. And then I had a ghostwriter kind of help me put it into, you know, a structure. I don't know how to write a book.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know what I want the book to say, and I know how to position things or how I would want it kind of told. And then it was just a matter of, you know, matching those things up.
Yeah. What chapter is my shutout? What should I look? What, chapter 6 or chapter 7? When do you break down?
You got to
all
keep it
maybe-
on the rails. Yeah. Chapter 6.
Maybe 5.
Okay,
Well,
good.
you mean when I kicked you in the teeth, that one?
Or when I tried to shoe check you and you fucking gave me a couple pops and then you said, hey, can I see the wine list? And then proceeded to order a couple nice bottles of red wine, and the boys, the other
Couple
rookies,
may not have been happy with you.
they weren't
Shane.
thrilled with me.
All right. They wouldn't have got up and shoot checked
They
him.
weren't thrilled with me. Fuck. Live and learn, eh, Prongsy? Live and learn, buddy. But
Yeah.
hey, seriously, man, you were great to me. I've always looked up to you, still do. So good for you. I appreciate you coming on Missin Curfew. And listen, you're great for the game, buddy. Keep being you. Keep being you, buddy.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate it, boys.
Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Up dog, swishy switch. Thanks to Prongs, man. I love Prongs. You probably have a love-hate relationship for him because you played against him a lot and you were
He's been
for
good. He's been real good post-hockey with me. I think after his Philadelphia stint, he understood, you know, a lot of my same teammates, and that's ultimately what it takes, right, in this game. You know, everyone's brotherhood, blah, 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 but when you play against each other, it's fucking no holds bar, and I appreciated the way how hard he played. I would appreciate the refs giving him a few more penalties because he got away with everything.
Oh, it was crazy.
He got away with murder.
Fuck, I wanted to bring that up to you, Swishy. Like, I would sit on the bench and I would watch Prongs cross-check a guy 6 or 7 times and then tell the ref to fuck off. He'd be like, fuck you. That's nothing. I get away with that. I'm like, how did you just do that?
Yeah, I know. It's special.
You just took 6 penalties and then told fucking Billy McKermott to fuck off, and now he's scared of you.
But he would do it to everybody. It wasn't like he had, you know, buddies out there. Like, he was doing that to some of the best players, Hall of Fame players, his buddies. Like, he tells you. He'd be the first one to tell you.
Yeah, and Swishy, you being a good D-man, a good right-handed shot D-man, move the puck, you would have been a nice partner for Prongs. And he talked a lot about practice, fella. And Swishy, my rookie year, like, I would just watch him practice. And he was the first guy that told me, fucking pass the puck hard. This is the NHL. Pass it hard and pass it fucking flat. And the way he practiced to this day, I would just sit there and watch him. It was impressive.
Yeah, I loved him. An old school bully on the yard. You know what I mean? Just that bully mentality, get away with anything. But you mentioned that, Obi, and when he went to Philadelphia, he made Matt Carl so much better than, Matt Carl was always a good defenseman, but he could just play with so much freedom. And that's what Prongs, I think, did the best for his D partners, is even a guy like Niedermeyer, a Hall of Fame defenseman, one of the best ever, but he just gave not only himself a lot of space, but his partners so much space. And that goes a long ways, especially as a guy, like my style of player, a skilled defenseman. You don't have to worry about anything back there.
Yeah. I'll never forget, right near the fucking All-Star break, we're in Western Canada, and both of them go down, Prongs and Niedermeyer. So I go from playing like 12 to like fucking 20 and change. I was like, when are you guys coming back? For fuck, let's get you back out there. So, and you know what? You heard him laugh a lot there, and I think sometimes he gets painted with the wrong brush. I was only with him for 3/4 of a year, but and we had a good team, which helps, obviously, ups and fishy, but he laughs a lot. He likes to chirp. He's a pretty fun guy when you're playing in his dressing room. You just don't want to, stand on top of the blue paint when he was out there.
No, yeah, you can tell he had fun, punishing guys. Yeah, it was fun for him.
Yeah,
that's a fucking nice trait to have.
Yeah, he had me over for Thanksgiving and Christmas too. I drank him right out of Crown Royal, Swishy. Drank him right out of Crown Royal. And
I think that's been done a time or two over the O'Brien years.
Yeah, you imagine the 21-year-old kid on your team coming over for Thanksgiving who's like, "Paul, this is off a whole bottle of Crown." Hey, thanks, Prongs. Should we have another? What, your wife's make you go to bed? Oh, okay, I'll leave.
It's funny, you tee up his wife, eh? She's a sweetheart, and I was like, just had a bottle of Crown Royal in me, and I'm like, "Hey, Prongs, I gotta be honest, buddy. I think your wife has a crush on me." And he's like, "You don't make enough money for her to have a crush on you, bro." So thank you, Prongs. Love you, buddy. You're good for the game. Keep on going. Swishy, thank you. Updog, my man. Always fun snapping around.
Fella.
Thank you to Hall Pass Media, Kyle, Casey, Conway, Max, the Ice Pick Pickup. That was Missin Curfew. Fellas.